I look super blue, but hello, we're in Valdez. It's super fun. Just wanted to pop on here real quick. My parents just left to go get dinner and I feel too awkward to vlog around them. Like, they know I have a channel, but I just feel weird talking to my camera with like other people in the room. But it's going really good. Our campsite is quite loud, but it's going well. I finished Eldest. It was fine. I'll have more reading updates when we get back into town, and I've just been reading a ton. It's been great, and I hope to like finish 2 more things hopefully on this trip. But it's been super fun, seen lots of things, and we're just gonna go shopping tomorrow basically, and then go home on Monday. So that's basically it. I just wanted to say hi to like say something in the vlog. Hello friends, we are back from our little trip to Valdez. It was very nice. It was very relaxing. And it just felt nice to kind of get out of here and just kind of go relax. Like, we didn't do a whole lot. We didn't have anything planned, and it was just really nice. I did get some cool little things. I've already put them away though. But I will show you a cool art piece that I got. So I got this really cool metal moon artwork that I'm just obsessed with. So I'll pop in a picture of that. It is so gorgeous, and I have a theme on one of my walls in my bedroom which is like all moons, and it just looks so good on there. So I got that, and I got like a hoodie and just a few other little tiny things, but mainly just hung out. Like, we just walked around the shops, we went on a few little trails as you saw. So basically everything you saw in the b-roll footage was everything that we did, and it was a great time. But we made it back home today. We left at like 6 a.m. and drove and drove and drove and drove and got back early this afternoon, and I've just spent all afternoon doing laundry and cleaning and getting the house kind of back in order and getting ready for work tomorrow. I really wish I had tomorrow off where I could just like sleep in and kind of relax and kind of ease into the week, but it's only going to be a 4-day week, so it's going to go by fast anyways. And after this week, my probation is over and I will have leave to use, which is just going to be amazing. I don't plan on using it right away, but just the ability to use it is going to be so nice. So without further ado, I have quite a few reading updates for you all because I was a reading machine on this trip, and I didn't read quite as much as I thought. I always overestimate how much I'm actually gonna read while on vacation, but I still read a decent chunk, so let's chat about it. First of all, I did mention this in the very short clip where I was chatting with you all in Valdez that I finished Eldest, which this was not as good as I remember when I was younger and reading this. It was very, very, very long, and I just don't think it needed to be 600 pages. I really don't. Like, this book is mainly about training, and it's just a huge info dump. This whole book is just major info dump for information that is going to be pertinent in later books, which I understand. It's good information. It's things about the world and the characters and the people in this world. It's valuable information, but I hated how it was formatted in this book. I hate being just dumped like hundreds of pages of here's everything you need to know. It's like a textbook. It gets dry, it gets boring. I know it's fantastical and like that makes it more interesting than a textbook, but it's still really dry. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I found the ending to be really good, and a certain character comes back who I'm very intrigued now knowing about the 5th book, how that's gonna play out. So it's all very interesting. I'm still interested in the series. I'm still gonna complete my reread and obviously read Murtagh when it comes out, and I'm really interested. So this is definitely a second book. It suffers from second book syndrome quite a bit, but I still liked it enough, and I'm just grateful I had the audiobook even though it's not my favorite to listen to. I am grateful to have it to kind of propel me through the story more than if I was just reading it myself, which I do remember younger me skimming this book a lot, and I see why. I also finished Mortal Follies, which I am obsessed with. It was so good, so good. This book was so close to being a 5-star read for me. I almost gave it 5 stars, but I just hesitated a little bit because this book follows one plotline in particular where we follow our main character. I'm forgetting her name as usual. It's like Malus. I think her name's Malus, and she is part of this like society in like 1800s-ish, and there's like magic and witches and stuff, and she's kind of developing a crush on the Duke of Annandale, who is a woman, and she doesn't know what to do with these feelings, and the Duke of Annandale's like, you're just gonna get your heart broke with me, you better just find somebody else. And Malis is attending these balls and participating in society as she should be doing as a woman of 19, and a curse is discovered to be put upon her as she's having all these like wardrobe malfunctions, and all these weird things keep happening to her when she's out in society's eye, and it's just making her look bad. So there's definitely somebody who's trying to sabotage her chances of finding a husband, which she's like working on, but she really doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be married. That's not something she's aspiring to, but it's what society has dictated for her. So she's discovered this curse, and so she turns to the Duke of Annandale, who is a witch, and is requesting her help to help her lift to this curse and figure out who put it upon her. And I loved that plot line. I wish that book just stuck with that plot line, because that wraps up at like the 60% mark, and the book feels done by then, and there's still another 40%, which was great. I enjoyed it. I just feel like this book could have been split into two, and could have been two like short stories, almost like Wayward Children length stories. So it could have been the first one was following Malis and getting this curse removed, and the second book could have been the second plot, which I don't really want to get into, it's a little spoilery, but it's just basically a separate storyline that I just feel like felt a little choppy, considering it was like almost halfway through the book. We finished up one plot, okay, here's another one, and then now we're done. So it just felt a little choppy to me, but I very much enjoyed it. And our narrator is this impling creature of some sort who is spying upon Malis and has a fascination with humans and likes to tell stories about them. And I loved that. Like, I loved having this like third person narrator. It was actually first person, but like having this like person who we don't see and get to know very well telling this story, and just kind of telling it in like a mischievous way, and it was just so fun, and it was just a beautiful like fairy tale-esque kind of story. I loved it so much. The writing was great, the comedy was hilarious. There's this character named Mrs. Bickle, she's hilarious. She definitely provided the like comedic relief in this story. It was just really, really, really good. Besides having that weird little two plot thing going on, I would have given this book 5 stars if it wasn't for that. And the romance was really good. It was just so good. This book ticked so many boxes for me. And I did receive an e-arc of this book, which is what I read. And I also listened to the audiobook of it on Libro FM, which the audiobook was phenomenal. It was so good. So, so good. So I highly recommend the audiobook if you want to read it that way. It was very, very good. And then we have more updates. I did start a new book this morning on our way back, which is Payback's a Witch by Lena Harper, which I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. It's so good. It's so witchy and fall. Like, this book feels like it's embodying the Halloween Town movie, you know? A classic. I need to rewatch that movie this year. Like, all the Halloween movies on Disney, I'm just gonna be binging those all through September, October, November. You know, it's spooky season all the time, but specifically during those like 3 months, it's gonna be great. So I'm obsessed with this. It's so fun, and I currently have the other books in my cart and I'm really dying to buy them, but I'm also a tad hesitant because it seems like the later books have lower and lower average ratings, which I don't typically use that to base on if I'm gonna buy a book or not. Like, I really don't. Like, if I'm interested enough, I'm gonna buy it kind of regardless of what the star rating is on Goodreads or whatever. But it is a little concerning that people who have read the series and have continued further in are just rating the series lower, lower, and lower, and lower. So a little concerned about that. So I may end up checking out the rest of the series from my library if they have them. But anyways, this book, we follow main character Emmy, who is one of the daughters of the 4 founding families in Thistle Grove, I believe it's called, and she's returning back home and is going back specifically for this ceremony that happens every year around October, I believe it's in, and she's just going back to perform the ceremony and then go back to her normal human life. She has abandoned magic. She can only use magic in Thistle Grove, as can other witches, and she stumbles across her ex, who she was kind of running away from, who's, what's his name? It's Gareth Blackmore. He's part of the most powerful magical family of Thistle Grove, and he broke her heart utterly in high school. And like, when she first runs into him, he doesn't even remember her, and it was just like so awkward for her. And then she finds out that like the hottest girl in high school back in the day has also been like cheated on with this guy. And Emmy starts to have like a really big crush on this girl whose name I'm forgetting as usual. She had a really cool name. I think it's Talia? I think it's Talia. So she's developing a crush on her. And then she also discovers that her best friend Lyndon also hooked up with this guy and got cheated on. So now there's these three witches who have been cheated on by this guy, and so they have decided to form a coven amongst themselves and wreak havoc upon him. So I don't quite know what they're going to do to him yet, but obviously payback's a witch, you know, they're gonna have payback. So I'm just obsessed with this. Like, it's so magical and cozy and fun and dramatic, and I'm obsessed. Like, this is feeling like a 5-star romance to me. I'm just loving it so much. Like, it's the perfect blend of supernatural, cozy fall vibes with witches, but also like contemporary romance. Like, there's definitely a lot of contemporary references in this book, which is really fun. I'm just obsessed. It's so good. So I will definitely, hopefully, be finishing this week. I am on page 139, so I read a decent chunk of this today just traveling, so hopefully I can get this done this week, but we'll just see how it goes. And then I hope to start and kind of just start working my way slowly through Best Served Cold, because I think the live show is going to be coming up for this book pretty soon. I believe this book was supposed to be read in August. I never got around to it because of Magical Readathon, so I kind of hope to read maybe like 50 pages a day or something and just slowly start making my way through this book. So I plan on starting this book tonight. It's only like almost 9, so I just need to get ready for bed and I will be ready to read this book. That is all my reading updates. I did tell you I started a new audiobook, I believe, which is The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which I'm really enjoying, but I haven't listened to it for the last couple of days because traveling, and I just wasn't listening to it. So I will get back into that tomorrow morning when I kick off all my morning chores, but that is it. So I hope you all enjoyed the b-roll from the trip. I thought it was a really fun trip, and it was just nice to go relax and hang out in my parents' new motorhome, which I have not spent any time in. They've had this motorhome for almost a year now, and they've taken it on quite a few trips, but I keep staying behind to take care of the cats and all of our houses, and it just never has worked out until this weekend, and it was great. It's such an upgrade from what they had before, and it was super nice. And I missed my kitties so much. Like, look at this little Halili. I promise she loves me. She's just being grouchy. So, anywho, we need to get ready for bed, and we will chat with you all later. Hello friends, it's Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Yay! So it was a super busy, crazy day at work, and I actually had to work a little bit late, so I didn't get home till like 6, which is unusual. I usually get home at like 5:15, so it's okay though. I mean, it's all good. It was just some things needed to get posted so people could come in tomorrow on Saturday and keep working on things, so it was not a problem. I didn't mind doing it. But I've been relaxing for a little bit and figured I should come on here and close out the vlog. So I haven't really chatted much about my reading this week, so we're gonna remedy that. So first of all, I am still reading Payback's a Witch. I hope to finish this book this weekend because I'm on page 170 and it's only like 340-ish pages, which actually I think there's like the next book kind of in here. There's like a first chapter. So let me actually find the end of the book. 310 pages, like that's when the story ends. So I could definitely finish this weekend, I think. So I'm gonna try at least. So I'm still absolutely loving this. This feels like a 5-star read to me, which I was not expecting from this being like a romance, but the vibes are so good. And I love our characters. I love the world building that's going on in this like witchy town. I'm obsessed. It's like seriously everything I could want from like a witchy romance, and I'm quite obsessed. So super loving this. It's going so good. And then I am also working my way very slowly through Best Served Cold. I made it 180 pages or so through this, and I'm really surprised to say I'm loving this. I think this is leaps and bounds better than the first Law trilogy. I just think the character work is so much better, and while it is still a little bit confusing, like I'm not 100% sure what's happening all the time, it definitely makes a lot more sense than the first Law trilogy to me. And I'm loving our main character. So our main character's name is Manza, and her brother has been killed by the men who work for the Duke of Orso, who does play a role in that trilogy, and he's back in this series. And they also tried to kill Manza, but she escaped and is now set on revenge to kill the 7 men who killed her brother. And they don't know that she's alive. They thought that she died when they were attempting to assassinate her, and she was working for the Duke of Orso as his mercenary, and she was getting too good and was becoming more beloved by his people than he is, and he didn't want that. So that's why he tried to kill her, and now we're following her as she's teaming up with various people and hiring people to kill these men and get revenge. And I'm really enjoying it. I love our main character Manza. I think she's really interesting to follow, and all the other characters that we're getting introduced to, I've been googling them because like I feel like they have a significant role, and I'll read a little bit of their history, and like they're connected to characters from the first series, and there's also some characters from that first series popping up in here, like Duke Orso, and Vitari I believe is coming up as well, who was really interesting in that series. So really pleasantly surprised how much I'm enjoying this one, considering how much I hated the first Law trilogy. Okay, hate's maybe too strong of a word, but I just strongly disliked it. And now the sun is like coming out and making my face look weird. Anyways, so really enjoying this though, and I'm just gonna take my time through it, probably gonna read it like all month long, because Becca announced that the live show for this book isn't going to be happening until like October, which is really nice because I've kind of fallen behind, and then Becca and all the other hosts are going on various trips throughout September, so they're going to be busy. So that really works out because I just fell behind a little bit with Catch Up Book Club, which is ironic. And finally, I am listening to The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and we're getting to the point where things are starting to become unraveled and secrets are being revealed, and my suspicions are heightened as to who did whatever happened in this book, and I'm really enjoying this. I think the audiobook is great. It has 2 different narrators, one for our main character and one for the old lady that we follow as well, so we kind of get flashbacks in the old lady's perspective as to what happened in her childhood or like early adulthood. And then, oh my gosh, this sun is just looking ridiculous. There we go. And then we follow our other main character, who is her caretaker, as she is taking care of her in her older age, and it's just real good. I'm enjoying it for a thriller, so I should definitely be able to finish that this weekend as well. I think I have like 3 hours left, so on like 1.8 speed, that's like a little more than an hour and a half, so I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that is basically it for this vlog. I feel like this week was just an absolute whirlwind, so apologies if I didn't chat with you all very much. I was also trying to push out some videos that I have been neglecting on filming and editing, and I stayed up till like 11:30 last night like doing video stuff. Like I need to set a limit on that because I get so obsessed and so excited about the books that I'm reading or things that I want to announce to you guys, so I make videos about it, but then it's like I need to set limits because I get overly excited and then I'm staying up till like 11 on a work night, which I really shouldn't do. But thankfully it was Friday, which is usually my Starbucks day. So went and got coffee and it was all good. So anywho, that is going to be it for this vlog. Thank you all so very much for watching. And if you made it this far into the video, comment some like swords and daggers or something, because I feel like that really matches the cover of this book. I really don't like these covers. Like, I do not like having people that look like real people on the cover. Like, I like illustrated covers with people, but not this, you know? But anyways, that's gonna be it for this vlog, and I will chat with you all in another one soon. Bye!